at one point I was able to meet Bob in between sessions, and I'd heard that he is a good way of kind of picking up on how you think just by meeting you. I don't know, I thought, well, that's an interesting little circus trick. Let's see what he has to say. So I went up during the event in between sessions, and we stood there. I mean, how do you stand when you know they're analyzing you? And he told me, he says, you've got a pretty good balance between the right and the left brain, but you're primarily creative. And I thought, okay, he doesn't know what he's talking about, because I'm a math major. I am very analytical, and I told him, I said, I have a hard time believing that, because I'm always thinking, I'm always analyzing, I'm always looking at my situation and figuring it out and analyzing it and hashing. Any of you process? And your husband's like, are we still talking about that? So I process, and I told him this, and he looked me square in the eyes and he said, you're not thinking. Straight face. Your mind is busy, but you're not thinking. And I thought, was I just insulted? I didn't know. I processed that one. I thought, I literally processed that one for a year. It took me a year to figure out what he meant by that. And I'm going to tell you you want to know what he meant by that? For those of you who process? Okay, I will. My husband and I were sitting there, and he's showing us this presentation. And halfway through, we look at each other, and we're like, that's all it is? That's all it is? This is what they've been trying to tell me for 7 years, or by this time it was 9 years. All of a sudden, all the things that we've been told all those years were boiled down into this one simple illustration on how our mind works and how to change your life. And we took that, our awareness, we just went, new awareness. All of a sudden, the lines are all over that number grid thing. And shoot, this is easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, And we came home, and within 3 months, tripled our income. After all those years of beating our heads against the wall, figure of speech, things changed very quickly. Uploading new programs is the third thing, and we do this through repetition or emotion. And we do this by creating a brand new idea entirely, not depending on our 5 senses to bring in data. We create our own data. Like I checked out and pictured having a home of my own, thinking I was doing something wrong. That's one of my programs, is that it's wrong to do that. How wrong was that? I've learned it was a good thing. It's a good thing to picture what you want. And it begins with a dream. You allow yourself to create it first, and that can take some work. That's probably the hardest part in this. And let yourself think about it on a conscious level. Fall in love with the idea. Feel the emotion you expect to feel as if it was already true. Now here's the key. Your subconscious mind cannot distinguish the difference between an experience that is imagined and one that is actually true. That's your advantage over your subconscious mind, is you can feed it whatever you want. It's going to say, oh, okay. Oh, so that's my new truth? Okay. If that's true, then I better get you moving in this direction. If your new paradigm says, I have great relationships. Oh, so you have great relationships now. Okay, great relationships. We'll work on that. And subconsciously, you're going to be moved to do things that you wouldn't have done otherwise, or give you ideas that you wouldn't have thought of otherwise to help those relationships. See, it's not just about money. It's about change. It's whatever you want to change. And really, faith is to believe in something you cannot see. That's what you're doing. You're creating something on the screen of your mind, and you're having faith that it's going to help you. And really, for faith to work, where do you think the effective belief must take place? Do you think it's having faith up here that, oh, I'll just quit my job and I trust that everything's going to work out because I have faith? Where deep down in here, I'm feeling really worried. I'm really worried because I'm picturing the disaster that's going to happen if the income has dried up. I'm picturing the train wreck at the end of the month. That's not faith. Faith is when it comes from here to here. And you can either do that through emotion by feeling it, letting yourself see it ahead of time, or repetition. And repetition sometimes takes longer. If you can do both together, powerful. By law, the new idea firmly established in the heart or the subconscious mind must manifest as an altered vibration in the body. And then by law, the new vibration causes you to resonate with or recognize new opportunities. If you take action, the corresponding Y results become predictable. Predictable. Now back to this. You're not thinking. Your mind is busy, but you're not thinking. This is busyness. That's the bondage cycle. What did I tell him? I said, I'm always looking at my situation and trying to analyze it. What's that going to do for me? Give me more of the same. And he knew that. When I said, I'm always thinking, I'm always analyzing, I'm hashing things, I'm looking at my situation, he was probably thinking, oh, you poor soul. Because he knew better. I mean, he knew exactly what I was doing. And he knew from that I was having a hard time changing. He could pick that up like that. He says, your mind is busy, but you're not thinking. To think is to create a new idea. To think is to create a new idea.